Hey there! Welcome to Sumit Academy. I do hope that you're benefiting from my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you do not miss out on my previous or future videos. We now begin a new series on current affairs, news you can use. In this video, we shall cover the threatened suspension of work visas by President Trump, updating of the meaning of the word racism by the US dictionary Merriam Webster, and unilateral change in Nepal's map, marking parts of Indian territory as its own. The first news we shall be talking about is that the Trump administration is considering suspending several categories of employment-based visas, including H-1B for high-skilled foreigners and L-1 for internal company transfers, both of which are very popular with Indian companies with US operations and Indians seeking to work in the United States of America. This is planned in view of the massive unemployment in America due to the coronavirus pandemic. Now, this was according to a report in a newspaper called the Wall Street Journal. The proposed suspension could extend into the government's new fiscal year beginning the 1st of October, when many new visas are issued. The Wall Street Journal said that President Donald Trump has not signed off on the proposal, which is part of a package of changes to other work-related visas and authorizations for foreigners. And of course, things could change in the coming weeks. An executive order is expected in some weeks. The plan also includes ending the Obama-era work authorization for spouses of H-1B visa holders cleared for green cards. Now, this will impact mostly Indians. The green card waiting line is the longest for Indians because of a country limit of 7% on the number of green cards. That means around 1 million are issued annually, and these can be issued to people from any one country. Charges for H-1Bs could also be increased substantially. Now, currently it is $460. Now the plan is to increase it to $20,000. The package seeks additionally to end or scale back work authorization for foreign students called optional practical training. The aim is to ensure Americans have the first crack at jobs that become available as the economy rebounds. President Donald Trump has already suspended all immigration in view of the COVID-19 epidemic, including green cards. Non-immigrant work visas were spared, but not any longer if this package of changes being considered goes through. The United States issues 85,000 H-1B visas every year, 65,000 to foreign workers hired from abroad, and 20,000 to foreigners enrolled in US institutions of advanced learning. More than 70% of these visas tend to go to Indians who are either hired by American companies such as Google, Apple, and Microsoft, or Indian companies with US operations such as TCS, Infosys, and Wipro. Healthcare professionals and workers are expected to be exempted from the suspension. The move is facing opposition from several quarters, including colleges and universities. Naturally, their enrollment will fall down. Some Republican lawmakers have also cautioned against a hasty decision on the matter. Let's wait and watch what happens. Our second news item deals with the announcement by the US dictionary Merriam Webster that they will update the meaning of the word racism after being contacted by a black woman who claimed the current definition fell short of including the systemic oppression of people of color. Now, this was a student who wrote to the 189-year-old institution in the wake of the George Floyd protests. Merriam-Webster in a statement said, a revision to the entry for racism is being drafted and it will be added to the dictionary soon. It added, they will also revise the entries of other words that are related to racism or have racial connotations. A third and final news for this edition is that Nepal's lower house of parliament has passed a constitutional amendment bill revising the coat of arms and amending the country's map to incorporate Lipulekh, Kalapani and Limpiyadhura areas. The bill will now be sent to the upper house and once passed, it will only require the president's signature. Now what is this all about? Do see my video on the Kalapani issue for a detailed background to the issue. While the decision, once sealed by Parliament, cannot be changed, both India and Nepal have opened up informal channels of communication to restart dialogue. India's response to its neighbor's proposal for discussion has been positive, but it feels that Nepal's decision to amend the map is politically driven. India had earlier reaffirmed its commitment for talks after Nepal objected to the inauguration of the Kailash Mansarovar Road by India. Now, I have covered all this in my earlier video on the Kalapani issue. Do have a look at it. New Delhi is concerned about the politicization of a sensitive territorial issue. Government of Nepal's unilateral act of updating Nepal's map and hasty efforts to amend the coat of arms prove that the intention is to politicize the boundary issue. Sources within the government have told the Indian media that these actions do not reflect any seriousness on the part of the Nepalese government to discuss and resolve the issue through dialogue. They are myopic and self-serving to further a limited political agenda. Nepal's artificial enlargement of territorial claims to Kalapani, Lipulekh and Limpiyadhura is not based on any historical fact or evidence. Remember, Nepal renounced all claims to territories lying west of the Kali River under the Treaty of Sugauli of 1815. In 1817, Nepal made a claim to the area and demanded the return of villages of Tinkar, Changru, Nabi and Kuthi. Now, lying east of Kali, the first two villages, that is Tinkar and Changru, were returned to Nepal. But the Governor General of India rejected its claim to Nabi and Kuthi as they lay west of Kali. The question of the source of Kali River was also settled by the same ruling. Nepal's shifting claims of Kuthi Yangti and Lipulekh streams as Kali River are incompatible with the Treaty of Sagali and the 1817 decision of the Governor General of India. Its claims are also contrary to its own boundary treaty and protocols signed with China. Nepal has encroached on Indian territory in Narsahi and Susta area in Bihar by settling its own population and through various construction activities. The government of Nepal has recently decided to form an expert team to find and collect evidence to establish Nepal's ownership in Kalapani and Susta areas after publishing a new map and passing a bill in its lower house to amend the coat of arms. Now, the haste with which the political dispensation has moved to change the map of Nepal, a dialogue between New Delhi and Kathmandu on the boundary question will now require a call from the leadership to resolve the border problem, and it will require political will to return to the talking table. Well, that's all from me in this edition of Current Affairs News You Can Use. Do keep a lookout for further editions of this series. I acknowledge with gratitude the news reports in various media and publications on the subject. I hope you liked my video, and please do share it on your Facebook page. And do subscribe to my channel so that you do not miss out on my previous or future videos. Till later then, cheerio.